This morning on Fox, I got to talk about the Raptors' historic win in the NBA Finals last week and the tax implications that the players, if they're U.S. citizens, would have in paying taxes to the IRS. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me because I'm a tax attorney, I like numbers, I like crunching numbers. I grew up in the 80s and my team was the Detroit Pistons. The Detroit Pistons went head-to-head with Michael Jordan in 1989. We took him down. We won the Eastern Conference Championship. We went on to win the finals. 1990, they said it couldn't be done again. Head-to-head with Michael Jordan. Beat him. Won the Eastern Conference Championship. Went on to win the finals with our bad boys. Bill Laimbeer, John Sally, Rick Mahorn, Isaiah Thomas, and yes, Dennis Rodman was part of our squad. The next year, Michael Jordan beat us out, 1991, and then went on to play the Lakers and win the finals. Now, the reason I'm sharing this story is that's when I became a lifetime fan of the NBA and was addicted. But more importantly, too, that year when Michael Jordan beat the Lakers, California decided to pass a law that was going to tax all those Chicago players that had come there and tax them on the income that they had earned while they were playing there. Not all states have this income tax, jock tax, but many states followed suit. And you can only imagine how complicated that makes any athlete's tax return. Setting aside the jock tax, let's just talk about straight income tax depending on where that athlete resides or where they're claiming their residence. So if we look at a player like a Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard was playing for the San Antonio Spurs in Texas, no state income tax, and then he got traded to Toronto, the Toronto Raptors in Ontario, Canada. Now, my segment this morning, I talked about how the athletes, if they're U.S. citizens, they have to pay U.S. income tax, even if they're residing in Canada, and even if their income is derived from a Canadian business. In this case, these athletes, they're required to pay Canadian income tax, federal and provincial as well, because their income is derived from a Canadian business. So, for the players who are in Ontario, your federal and provincial income tax is a top tax rate of 53.53%. Yes, that's over half of what they earn. In addition, because they're U.S. citizens, they're required to pay income tax to the United States. The U.S. does give credit for the taxes that you're paying somewhere else. If you're living in another country and you're required to pay taxes there, the players are going to get credit for the 53.53% that they're paying in Canada. Granted, they won't get credit for all of it because the rate is higher up there. And I wanted to point out that Kawhi specifically had a trade kicker in his contract, which is smart. So if he got traded, the Spurs were required to pay out about $3 million because they were trading him. His tax difference in moving from Texas to Ontario, Canada is about $2 million. So it offsets the taxes that he was required to pay. The last thing I would point out is there's a lot of talk about what he's going to do in free agency. Kawhi Leonard becomes a free agent July 1st, 2019, so in just a few days. There's speculation he bought a house in San Diego earlier this year, that he was looking at the Clippers or the Lakers. Both could potentially offer him a max contract. He's likely looking for a max contract. It's merited. He deserves it. He's proven he can carry a team to a championship. The Lakers are in a tough spot because they just signed Anthony Davis for a max contract and they have LeBron James, both superstars who merit those contracts. They don't have the salary room to also sign Kawhi Leonard to a max contract unless the Pelicans, the New Orleans Pelicans, are willing to delay the official agreement for Anthony Davis. If they delay it, then the Lakers may be able to squeeze in a max salary for Kawhi Leonard. If he became a California resident with his California state income tax along with his federal income tax, he would actually end up paying about 49%, which is not that much different than he's paying in Toronto. It's about a 4% savings. So if he's looking to save on his taxes, which he may not be, he would not be wise to choose California. So that's it for my NBA talk and analysis on tax consequences of these players. I'm excited for the draft this week. I hope to watch it. I have a speaking engagement and I'll be talking about the 20% qualified business income tax savings. You're welcome to attend and hear how your small business can save 20% on your qualified business income, which literally is not paying tax on $20,000 of $100,000 of qualified business income. I hope to catch the draft that night after I speak. And I'm excited to see what happens in free agency. And I guess what happens between the draft and before free agency. That's it for my thoughts on the NBA. I'm going to try to do some more of these videos because I do love the NBA so much, on the draft and on free agency and analyzing some of these contracts. So stay tuned. Take care.